We asked you on social media, what kind of games overwhelm you? Let's talk about it. What's up, human beings? Welcome back to a question of the week video on the Games and Groceries channel. As we do every single Friday through Sunday, I put up a question of the week both on Instagram and on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at Gaming Groceries. You can follow us on Instagram, Games and Groceries, all one word. And I will post questions of the week every Friday, and you have until Sunday in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time to answer so that these videos can be made by Wednesday. So the question of the week is, what kind of games overwhelm you and why? So we've got some answers from you, and let's just get started.
So our first answer comes from Playable Podcast. And they say, enormous games like The Witcher 3. Too much to do and too much grinding and too much finding shiz to fix my dumb sword. I know it's a great game, but I can't handle it. I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before on the podcast too, where long games, especially as adults, are just way too much work because we only have an hour or two out of a day to play long games like that. And to grind through a really long game can take months to years for adults sometimes.
Exactly. And the whole crafting and the whole grinding, it just gets a little overwhelming. As a teenager, I loved it. As an adult with responsibilities, I can't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
Our next answer also comes from Instagram from Nick DiPaolo. He has this to say: almost everything nowadays. It's not just the length, it's the complexity of the game. Too much to do. Just give me Metal Gear Solid and Adam's Ascending, which is the game he's developing.
Nice plug.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, no, that kind of goes along with Playable Characters podcast answer, where it's just it's just a lot to do. There's a lot of grinding. Like, you know,
too much work to do in games these days.
Everything has to have an RPG element to it. Just Gears 5 that just released, I still haven't had a chance to play it yet. Actually, by the time this video comes out, I probably have played it. So don't take my word for that. But even a game like Gears of War, they have RPG elements in it. It's an open world. Everything needs to be grindy nowadays. And it's just like, give me just the straight through video game that we all know and love. And that's it.
Okay, so our next answer comes from Twitter from @GrumpyDadGamin1. I'm going to say when games put a heavy focus on crafting. So many crafting options. We need this many of each resource. And now we need a legendary donkey ear to forge our new sword. People love that, but not me. Meat and taters here. Give me simple and straightforward. And then he has a smiley face emoji.
No, yeah, that goes along with the whole grindy thing. Crafting is a whole different element.
Yeah.
There's a grind to level your character up, but it's also crafting. There's some games that does crafting right. I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn does crafting really well. I haven't had the chance to play Breath of the Wild, but I've heard that crafting system is really good. But there's some games where I'm just like, do I have to? Do I really have to? One of the biggest problems that people have with the Stranger Things 3 game was that the crafting element was just so complex and just didn't make any sense. And that's why people really didn't like that game. There's other reasons, but crafting in games can get repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play any games where there's crafting, but I remember watching you in Skyrim.
Yeah.
And you're just like searching all over. Hi, honey. When you're searching all over to find that thing, to do whatever, I'm just like, really?
Yeah, anytime I play like an Elder Scrolls game, I never do alchemy. I never really do the crafting just because I don't want to have to think about that. I just want to pick something up and go. And I like what Grumpy Dad Gaming has to say. By the way, thanks for commenting on all the videos. He's always in the comment section. I really appreciate you, guy. But yeah, it's just give me the straightforward gameplay. Like, I don't need this crafting. Like, if I don't have to, I'm not going to be crafting. So then we have Nikki's answer on Twitter @CommanderNikki. Nikki for short because she's short, as she says. She sells by the she's short.
I'm cutting that out.
Aww. Extreme difficulties, even on easy mode, hi buddy, are a big nope for me. I play for fun and not to struggle. Also, time limits are stressful and I don't want to deal with them. That stuff is too much for me. And I will never touch survival mode of Fallout 4 ever again. Way too stressful. But also, there's good overwhelming. When a game has huge emotional impact on you, you have to sit down for a while. Life is Strange, for example, did that. All right, see ya, buddy. Bye. Goodbye. See ya.
But yeah, I completely agree with that. I don't do well with extreme difficulty. Fell off many cliffs.
Yeah.
Just in general. But yeah, when there's things that are timed or when it's a stressful situation, it's not relaxing to me. But Life is Strange definitely handled it perfectly, which is why in the last video we did, that was my favorite one.
But I do agree too on the fact of high difficulties, even on easy mode. I think the biggest example of this is Naughty Dog games. Even on easy mode, some people struggle with the easy mode on like Crash Bandicoot and even Uncharted games, they can get like a little much. But like you said, I like how she also has the good overwhelming, like Life is Strange. The one game that comes into my mind in terms of a good overwhelming is Gears of War 3. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a section in Gears of War 3. There's an event that happens, and the game actually pauses for you and just saying like, kind of like, we're going to put this on pause, just take a breather. And I needed it.
All right, so our last answer comes from @SmittenWritten, and she says, no doubt it's survival games for me. Anytime I have to think about my ever-dwindling stats because I'm hungry and thirsty and cold all the time can get stressful. Example, The Long Dark, We Happy Few, Subnautica. Wait, aren't all games survival games?
It's a good question.
Which is a good point. A lot of games are some sort of survival element.
Yeah.
Even Life is Strange.
Yeah.
They have to survive this storm.
Exactly.
So, I mean, she's kind of right. But I have to agree, anytime there's a time limit and it's stressful and you have to like survive and you have to pay attention to the stats and you have to do this, you have to do like 5 things all at once, way too much thinking for me.
Yeah, no. Survival games they're an acquired taste, and I understand that. And I understand why people enjoy it so much. But at the same time, it can get stressful because you're just making sure your person doesn't die of thirst, even though you can't feel their thirst coming on.
Yeah.
You can't feel their tumbly rumbling. I don't know, but it can get stressful at times.
Yeah.
So before we get into our answers, we want to hear from you guys, the viewers. What kind of games overwhelm you and why? Comment down below. We'll be in the comments section. I want to hear from you guys. There's so many different things about video games that overwhelm different kinds of people, so we want to hear your answers. So with that said, Liz, let's start with you. What kind of games overwhelm you and why?
Well, I didn't even think of long games when...
Yeah.
And then everyone said, I was like, oh yeah, long games can be a little intimidating. But nothing for me is worse than the shooter, fast-paced, skills-driven games.
Like Doom 2016.
I know nothing about Doom.
Yeah.
But we've all talked about my abilities in Halo.
Yeah, and that's...
I fell off stairs.
Yeah.
And cliffs.
Yeah.
And I'm sure other things I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I go in the wrong direction, and I can't aim and shoot at the same time. It just... way too much work for me to do. So mostly it's the skills and the shooter games.
Your action-packed first-person shooter games.
Yeah, like I can handle the Last of Us. I'm handling that pretty well.
Yeah.
But even when it comes to times where it just requires too much skill that I don't have, and I have to hand the controller to you. So yeah, definitely the skills shooter games.
Yeah.
Not for me.
So I had to think about this a lot too when making this question. And one that came to mind was longer games, like you said, but long games I tend to enjoy. Open world games, but I'm like, no, I like exploring the world. I like picking apart and I like looting. It's mostly survival horror games that kind of overwhelm me because I like to survive. I can deal with the horror element, but it's when everything, all of your ammunition is scarce, all of your health potions are scarce, and you have to kind of manage your inventory while fending off like the horrors inside the game. I get a little overwhelmed because I just want to survive and not look in my pockets. Do I have enough ammo? Am I good?
An example of Adam playing these games is him going, okay, let's go. Come on, move. Okay.
But yeah, like, I just want the character to move to get the next inventory spot, so it can get a little overwhelming. So that was question of the week. If you want to be a part of these videos, like I said, follow us on Twitter @GamingGroceries. Follow us on Instagram, Games and Groceries, all one word, and I'll be posting questions of the week every Friday around 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you'll have up until Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll collect all the answers, and we'll shoot these videos, and we'll have the video out by Wednesday. So we would love to hear your answers. We love interacting with you guys on social media, so definitely get in on the action. We'd love to hear from you guys. So we want to thank again for the answers from Playable Characters Podcast, from Nick DiPaolo, from Grumpy Dad Gaming, from Commander Nikki, and from Alyssa Payne. So definitely get in on this. So follow us on the Twitters, follow us on the Instagrams, interact with us there, and we'll see you in next week's question.